This podcast is brought to you courtesy of Skype.
In a world of great peril and fear, where prices go up and the digital replaces the tangible, who will the masses turn to? England and Sweden in the greatest crossover event ever. Starring Jack Nik.
It's Thursday, the 16th of February, 2012. I am Nick.
And I'm getting far too into this sort of jazzy background music.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, jazz.
That's awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crossover, the show where we talk about comic books for 2 hours and alienate everyone in the entire universe.
Oh yeah.
Except the 20 or so that are currently listening.
All I gotta say is grass to you guys for being able to put up with this.
Yeah, no idea how you pull through, but you do every week, and it's amazing. So, coming up in this show tonight, we have a bit of news in the Daily Planet.
Yes, plenty of news. Well, I say news. Some of it's not quite newsworthy, but we feel the news mentioning anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And after that we have the back catalogue, which is our review segment. What was good, what was bad, what was ugly, and nothing with Clint Eastwood in this week.
We need to get something with Clint Eastwood. Is Clint
We
Eastwood...
do.
This is a challenge to the listeners. Find something that has the likeness of Clint Eastwood in it, or the character Clint Eastwood, if that's even better, actually.
Yeah, so I can stop making that really, really terrible thing.
Yes.
Every time I mention back catalogue. The only thing I could think of that could possibly qualify is the Dark Tower graphic novels, because, you know, the main character that's kind of modelled after Clint Eastwood a bit. That's all that comes to mind on that.
So, what do we have after the back catalogue?
After the back catalogue, we have the new releases, our top 3 picks each. That's right, each. 6 in total. We're spoiling you so much, folks. Of the top comics that we're going to recommend for next week, which is the 22nd of February.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
And in that segment, we also have the webcomic spotlight. A bit of cheapy and often updated more regularly than normal comic books that you can find on the internet, and we have one every week.
Yep.
And
After the webcomic spotlight, I should say, with the riddles, which is our listener interaction segment. You can send us an email at copodcast@gmail.com if you so desire. copodcast@gmail.com. It's becoming second nature to say that.
yeah, imagine if we ever changed that.
Oh god, it would screw us up so badly.
Yeah.
You could also go to the IRC at nordicalradio.com. Click on the IRC button, well, the chat button rather, at the top. Give yourself a name and then pester either myself, Jotun NR in the chat room, or Nick, who is Blondie NR.
Yes, our pseudonyms on this thingy that we do on the internet.
Yarp.
Yeah, we tried having our pseudonyms be the same as our talking names, but that just didn't work at all.
Yeah, it confused us too much. Well, it confused me too much anyway.
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, you could also vote in the weekly poll on the forums. Go to noticealradio.com, click on the forums button, click on the crossover option there, and you can vote in weekly poll number 18. The Amazing Spider-Man, yay or nay? Are you excited for that movie?
And you can
I will be periodically changing my vote all the way through.
Even after I lock it, you will unlock it and just vote and then lock it again.
Damn right.
Yes, so go to noticealradio.com, find the webcomic spotlight before the show is over, because we lock it at the end of every show when we post up a new weekly poll. So
preferably sometime before 11 PM GMT on this day, 16th of February 2012.
Yes.
If you hear the archive of this and decide, I want to cast a vote.
You can still cast a vote all the time on the one that comes up after, well, during the show. The only problem is that you usually, if you're listening on the podcast, you usually don't actually hear the question until it's too late, because like today's episode went up, well, last week's episode went up today.
Yeah.
Exactly a week after it was aired. So yeah. It's intended to be on Wednesdays, but you know, we can't always be perfect. So, I think it's time for us to do something we do so well.
First of all, going to mention that this week's show, instead of having a rogues gallery, we're going to be doing a sometimes neglected segment, because the I Could Be Batman one, a discussion segment.
Oh, that's exciting, and I get to do
I couldn't become Green Lantern unless I was chosen by...
etc, etc.
Etc, yeah. It's awesome.
Yes.
Arguments on the internets.
Much so. So, it's time for us to move into...
This is Daily Planet.
So yes, our top story for tonight, or our first story for tonight, comes to us from Comic Book Resources spin-off site Spin-Off.
Yeah, for all the comic book movie and just movie stuff in general news. A lot of people have been cast in the Green Arrow, well, quote, Arrow pilot for the CW.
You know what?
First of all, in the lead role as Oliver Queen, we have Stephen Amell, who I really don't know who this guy is, but apparently he's in Hung and The Vampire Diaries.
Oh god.
Yeah. It kind of sets a tone, really, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
He does look an awful lot like the reboot Oliver Queen, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, he looks the part, like... To be honest, if you put on an epic beard, you could probably take him for Green Arrow. Like you
the
could.
The thing is, they're not going to give him the epic beard of the pre-reboot.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, you could take a Chinese guy, put on the epic beard, make sure it's blonde, and he would be mistaken for Green Arrow.
True.
It's the beard that makes the man.
Exactly. In other casting news, David Ramsey is playing a character called John Diggle, a military man turned bodyguard who's trapped in a battle of wits, loyalty and trust when he's hired by the wealthy Moira Queen to protect her son Oliver, who repeatedly eludes him. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's done. It's it's pretty much every single bodyguard character you've ever come across, really.
Even in real life, like...
Even in real life.
Yeah. There's nothing new there.
Exactly.
You have Willa Holland playing Oliver Queen's 17-year-old sister Thea, and the casting described it as a Lolita-esque character.
Well, that's not disturbing at all.
No, but I seem to have memories of his sister actually being either very loose or actually becoming a prostitute in the end. So
Oh God.
there's that. I can't
Also,
really
she
remember.
really doesn't look 17.
No, she really doesn't look 17 at all.
This is following the typical American tradition of casting people in their mid to late 20s as teens.
To be honest, the UK did
Sometimes
that as
people in
well
their
with
30s.
Harry Potter. It has to be a bit weird to film the 8th Harry Potter movie with Daniel Radcliffe. I mean, it's gonna be hard playing 17 when you're 55.
Don't let Losa hear you say that. She's a bit of a fan.
Yeah, but he's still very old. He looks very old to be 17.
He's in his 20s now.
Yeah.
And I found it a bit weird he's playing a teenager. Like, still quite...
I mean, some people that are in their 20s actually look like teenagers, like me. Well, I look like him. I'm in my pre-teens, but still. But
Whereas I've recently turned 21. I was once accused of being 40. No, really.
oh god.
I haven't been asked for any ID since the age of 15. It's fantastic.
That is amazing. I must say. That is
Perfect
amazing.
for the alcoholic. And the final bit of casting is Katie Cassidy as the love interest Dinah Lovell Lance. Katie Cassidy previously being in Supernatural, so I'm getting a lot of the sort of, there's people from the OC, from Vampire Diaries and Supernatural. I'm sorry, but this is not fantastic casting. Then again, it's a CW program anyway.
I was about to say, this is gonna go probably the way of Smallville, being critically acclaimed and everyone loves it, and we're gonna hate on it so much that we'll never watch it. Which is sad because I actually like the character of Green Arrow.
I thought you went off him recently, though, with the reboot.
That does not count.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. What else do we have? We have
Oh, go ahead.
a bit of geeky news with board games based on the Avengers movie coming out. And this story particularly points towards that there are units in this board game that look an awful lot like Skrulls.
Yes. These are, they're not the correct colour, of course. Well, they're just die-cast pink things.
They're pink.
They're entirely pink, which is a bit,
Pink
I don't know
guns.
if that's a sort of
pink
subconscious thing of, it makes them think that the enemies are sisses.
Mm-hmm.
But, bear in mind they have what looks like quite large ears and very prominent chins.
Mm-hmm.
Could theoretically be. But, looking at they've got a screen cap of the Avengers Super Bowl TV spot, I think. Doesn't look that much like the traditional Skrulls.
But remember, way long ago, there was these images from the now scrapped video game that was going to be based on a movie.
Oh yeah.
And those pretty clearly had Skrulls in them. I think this is going to be, if not fully fledged Skrulls, it's going to be a version of Skrulls.
Yeah, sort of a nod towards Skrulls.
Yeah. Basically, the equivalent of how Phoenix was in X-Men 3. I think
we
that
don't
didn't
mention
happen.
that. Jesus Christ.
Oh no,
it's not an it's not an evil alien power. No, she's just crazy.
But what? The third X-Men movie was First Class. It was X-Men 2, First Class. I don't think there were any other movies.
I remember they tried to make a Wolverine one, and that's coming out soon, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
That's it.
2013 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks slightly promising, even though it has Wolverine in it.
Yeah.
Because the storyline actually is decent.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. What else do we have
that happened.
on the agenda for tonight?
Well, we've got a little bit more movie news in that Columbia Pictures has decided to abandon the plans of adapting The Boys, which is a ridiculously violent and very, very adult-aimed comic series.
Yeah.
With the likeness of, what's his name? Scotty from the new Star Trek.
I thought we were gonna say Eurotrip. No idea.
No.
I actually haven't seen the new Star Trek.
Oh, what? But it's a good one.
But it has
It's
Sylar
actually-
as Spock.
It actually works.
Yeah, I just haven't been able to see it.
Simon Pegg, that's it.
Simon Pegg? Oh,
Yeah, they got the likeness of him as one of the characters in it.
alright, that's cool. Yeah, I picked
But,
up
I think that
a $1 issue of this, which was like an excerpt of the... If it isn't the storyline, it's the volume that's called, and I kid you not, Hero-gasm.
Oh
And
yeah.
It was
Sounds about right.
and it was basically like soft porn. I was like, what am I what am I reading? It's really weird.
Yeah, the Boys is very, very well known for scenes of just all-out assault, not just a villain and a hero punching each other, whatever. But just like kneecapping someone. I think it narrowly beat Kick-Ass Volume 2 to the whole dog munching off someone's balls.
Balls to the walls.
Yeah, and, a couple of rapes I think have happened in that. So I'm not surprised that Columbia Pictures has dropped it, if I'm honest.
So, do you know who our collective favorite writer ever is?
Could it perhaps be Kirkman?
Kirkman. No, not Kirkman. A more mainstream guy. Though
Could it be...
I'm not really sure how it can be more mainstream than AMC. Like The Walking... Yeah, okay, go on. Next guest. Guess.
Grant Morrison?
No. Last guess.
Last guess. Could it perhaps be He's So Crazy Stan Lee?
God damn it, no, it's Jeff Johns.
Oh, Jeff Johns, yeah.
Jeff Johns. The guy that was in charge of Blackest Night and Brightest Day, as well as Flashpoint and a lot of Green Lantern and the Flash stuff, as well as a bunch of stuff in the New 52.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of his pet projects is coming out very soon, and by very soon I mean in a few months. It's called Batman Earth 1. Which
Yeah,
is,
that's right. This is going to be the beginning of a new series of graphic novels that will be coming out, hopefully annually. That's what it was originally intended. In a similar sort of vein of Superman Earth 1. Superman Earth 1 Volume 2 is coming out this year as well. But this is going to be focusing on the very start of Bruce Wayne's career as Batman.
Yep. That's right. Another origin story.
Yeah. I
That's
don't like
our-
it that says he's not the Batman people know, and he's certainly not a superhero, and he's not experienced in any respect. He's just, a sort of guy on the street punching people in a costume. Rather than, when they usually do sort of new origin story, he's fully fledged and, somehow he's been gone for a year and he knows every form of kung fu imaginable.
Yeah, I guess so.
How packed must that year have been? Well, after I got back from China doing all this, kung fu, I happened to go all the way to Malaysia to learn their brand of martial arts as well.
To be honest, if you
I
spend...
trained for a full 6 months with a French guy in Batman and Robin.
Yeah. It has art by Gary Frank and John Sibal, which they're pretty good. I quite like that art style that they're going for here with the cover. Seems that they're
really
adding even more seams to the Batsuit. Not really agreeing on that choice, but yeah, whatever. So
Is
yeah,
this better than Fallout Boy Clark Kent in Superman Earth 1?
Fallout Boy Kent,
Yeah, that was creepy as hell.
Fallout Superboy.
Ooh.
So we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, it's time for more news. You're listening to Crossover live on Nordical Radio at nordicalradio.com. This is... what's the band called? Take to the Sky is the name.
Oh, Van Canto.
How do you spell that? Van...
VAN CANTO.
One word. Van Canto.
2 words.
2 words. Van Canto. So yeah, Van Canto with Take to the Sky. And it's picked by Jack. I have no idea what this is. Hopefully
Acapella metal for the win.
Alright, see you on the flip side. Actually, this might not play. We'll see.
This podcast is brought to you courtesy of Skype.
Was I? Sorry.
Really? They're bringing back that tired old meme?
Yeah, bringing back the 90s, man. Everything was better in the 90s.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah, we had like... I can't remember anything from the 90s. Except for like Final Fantasy 7, but we can still play that now. What did we
Any
have?
minute now you're going to start doing the whole Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer thing.
Oh, can't touch this. Do.
Ladies and gentlemen, for fuck's sake.
Okay. We'll get back to track. Sorry, Aussie Gamer.
Okay.
So, Stan, he's so crazy, Lee. He's been crazing it up, trying to win back a lawsuit by...
I'm going to have to stop you there.
Oh?
There's actually Stanley Media, which is independent of Stanley, and is in fact suing him for some stupid reason.
Oh, we have to go deeper.
We have to go deeper. We have to go a level deeper. Stanception.
Oh,
God. So, yes, they've been bankrupt since 2006 and have been essentially existing purely to troll people with lawsuits, including Stanley. And they have just failed in their attempt to reclaim the rights to Conan the Barbarian, which they had very temporarily in 2001. Yeah, that's weird enough in its own.
So let me get this straight. I was obviously didn't read this beforehand. Stan Lee Media, a company with the name of Stan Lee, is suing Stan He's So Crazy Lee
Yeah.
for the rights of a comic book.
They were originally trying to sue.
Well, an
I think
IP.
it's coming Dark Horse, who has the rights to Conan the Barbarian comic. They're suing Stan Lee in a separate lawsuit, which is still ongoing. And then now attempting to pursue the rights to Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and pretty much every other Marvel property that has been created by Stan Lee in the past.
How can they possibly find any grounds to owning these IPs?
I think their logic is, we got Stan Lee's name in our company, that's it. They didn't really think it through. I think it's just step one, found company with well-known comic creator. Step 2, get rid of comic creator. Step 3, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 4, profit!
Sounds just like it. I wouldn't expect anything
I
else.
wouldn't be surprised if that was their logic in that.
Yeah.
They don't seem exactly sane to me.
They take after their namesake.
Wouldn't go batshit insane. Yes,
Yeah.
they've already done that. They've already done it. This is proof already.
Yes.
If we're reading right now.
Oh. Everything should be public domain. Everything would be so much easier then we can make our own.
Problem is no one ever make any money.
Yeah, you could still sell comic books. Like, you can still sell comic books that are Calvin and Hobbes, because that comic is public domain. But you just can't own anything. Imagine we could make our own Spider-Man comic.
Oh no. Oh god, no. The Swedish Spider-Man, I can see it right now.
Oh, that would be hilarious. He wouldn't be able to swing anywhere because there aren't any tall buildings in Stockholm. Oh.
He's got a Viking helmet on with the horns and everything. For
Yeah.
no obvious reason, other than to show that he's a Swedish Spider-Man.
Yeah. And obviously, he wouldn't beat people up. He would go and give them a stern lecture. And then he would apologize for it. Oh god.
So in that way, he sort of shares something with the Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah. We could have Spider-Man. Oh, Spider-Man Inc. Spider-Man Inc.
Spider-Man Inc.
Yeah.
Oh god, I dare to imagine what the British one will be like.
Tell you, old chap. He'll have.
He wouldn't swing because he's too refined for it.
Yeah.
He just wanders around in a suit with a cane.
He wouldn't wear a mask. He would wear a bowler hat.
with the spider symbol emblazoned upon it, and he would just use his superior linguistic skills to deal with villains.
He would talk people into spider webs.
Oh,
What?
Let's tangle him up with his verbosity.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So, more lawsuits. The
Yes,
original
more lawsuits.
artist of The Walking Dead, Tony Moore, claims that he should get more money from royalties and pay.
Yeah.
And he's suing the one, the only, Kirkman.
Kirkman. Basically, because he thought it seems that, he didn't really get that much in terms of paying royalties and so on for the few issues he did on Walking Dead before being apparently elbowed out. He's been saying that, it's not only unlawful and immoral, but Kirkman should be held accountable for it. And that along with the royalties for the actual comic. He's after some for the first series of the TV show, which are based on the ones they produced.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first sort of, problem that's been going on with Kirkman recently. What with the... What was it called again? The one with Rob Liefeld is doing the Infinite.
Infinite.
Yeah. You tell you pay attention to that, can't you?
No.
Far from it. But yes, that went under recently. That was confirmed to have ended because of creative differences.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it may have actually, unfortunately, been because of pay and royalties.
Yeah, possibly. We might be seeing a bit of a darker side to our favorite superhero, Kirkman.
Which is shameful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that moment when, kids realize that their dads aren't brilliant. And it's just like, it turns the world upside down. It's like that right now with us and Kirkman.
Yeah.
Yes, we're witnessing the end of childhood here. Dear.
So speaking of lawsuits...
Yet more!
Yet more!
This is in fact the end of one as well. This is the ongoing dispute that would been going on with Julie Taymor, the original director of the Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark Broadway musical, and the producers of said musical. Apparently there was yet another feud about royalties there, which has been settled, with Julie Taymor getting $9,750 a week in royalties from the profits that this ongoing Broadway show is making. It may sound like a lot to some people, but bear in mind it brings in $1.3 million a week.
Yeah. It is the most successful Broadway show of all time, and it's also the most expensive.
Yeah. And I really didn't want it to do that well. Mainly because of what I heard about Julie Taymor's version of it, which was, ridiculously family friendly, and at one point had a musical number about the main villain in it. A new creation by her called Arachne or something like that. A musical number about her shoe shopping.
I think it was Arachnid, because Arachne is a character in Marvel.
Arachne, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just entirely cheesy and terrifying and abysmal. And because it's been developed into something that is apparently a dark, disjointed, and hallucinogenic musical involving suicide, sex, and death, now it's doing fantastically well. My throat's killing me now. I've done that voice 3 times now. It's hurting.
I want to see both versions. Just
oh god.
The first, I want to see the current version just because I want to see a successful Broadway show, period. But also
and you want to see the abortion that was Julie Taymor's version.
Basically. Damn. Alright, and our last news story for tonight is one that speaks to us personally about Kapow Con in May in London. They're adding more guests.
They have announced the full lineup, I think, of comic book guests. They are still going to be announcing some from the film and TV industries in May 3rd, actually. Or by then, anyway. And yeah, there are a few big names actually going to be turning up to Kapow Con.
Example?
First of all, you got Brian Hitch, who did the art on such things as the Ultimate series in Ultimate Comics Marvel. Introducing America's Got Powers, which is one of the big things coming out, I think, this year, between himself and TV host and comic book writer Jonathan Ross.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's going to be something to check out, definitely. You got Warren Ellis doing a question and answer session.
Yeah.
Warren Ellis, the award-winning writer. of such things as I can't remember off the top of my head. Jimmy Carr and Frankie Boyle, two of the more controversial figures from the Clint magazine, which is published by Mark Miller, doing a series of interviews on stage. Jimmy Carr doing the one that I think you may remember as being the controversial one, which featured a load of kids killing teachers in what was supposed to be an internet game, something like a forum game. And everyone immediately kicked off saying, "Oh, this is sending the wrong message to the kids," but that's because I didn't read the whole thing properly. And if anything, they'd say that, it was a commentary on, how society could evolve in the future, and B, how it could go wrong with that sort of idea. Because, everybody who ends up taking part in that ends up being horribly maimed and killed and put in jail and such. So it doesn't end out fantastically for them. But the guest of honour is going to be the one, the only, Joe Quesada. Chief Creative Officer of Marvel Entertainment.
That's interesting.
It is.
I'm going to meet him and punch him in the face. Because of what he's done to
You'll be
Marvel.
able to join the queue in that.
Yeah. Actually, if anyone is listening, that has anything to do with Joe Quesada, I'm not going to punch him in the face if given the opportunity. I still want to go to Kapow Con. I don't want the police to break down my door at any point in time, actually.
There's a few other people being mentioned as being guests. I'm going to rattle some names off quickly so we can get this out of the way. Oliver Quapel, Charlie Adler, Paul Grist, Mike Carey, Glenn Fabry, Sean Phillips, Eric Stevenson, plus Ryan Hughes, Matt Smith, Rob Williams, Simon Spurrier, and the creators of Bayou Arcana are all going to be there.
Did I hear Matt Smith?
Matt Smith. But I don't think this is the Matt Smith of Doctor Who fame, at least not in terms of the comic book ones. It's probably going to be mentioned and confirmed properly, if he's going to be there at all, in the film and TV guys.
Yeah. Who is this Matt Smith?
No idea. I'm going to check now on if it's on the Kapow convention.
Alright. And
Websites.
while you do that, we'll take a break. This is In Flames with Pinball Map, and I'm hoping that this will play this time.
This podcast is brought to you courtesy of Skype.
You're listening to Crossover live on Nordical Radio at nordicalradio.com. Yeah! So, before the break we were talking about news, and now it's time to move into the back catalog with a little help of our good friend, Captain Jack Harkness.
Lucky she's young. Work your way through my back catalog, we'll be here till the sun explodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as every week. So, my friend, what have you been reading this week?
This week I've been reading a lot, as per usual. I'll rattle through the Marvel and other ones I've been reading first. So, first of all, Avengers number 22 was ridiculous. It was just a full issue of, oh god, the Avengers are getting their arse kicked. Whatever will we do now? And, I was thinking, okay, that's all well and good. And then, you go to the back page, the end, and it's just it shows the preview what's coming up next issue. And it's all the Avengers, kicking ass, because it's apparently the final issue of that little story arc. So, yeah. How the fuck? Seriously. They go from everybody getting their asses royally handed to them in ways that they know that it's going to kill them, and then suddenly... Yeah, and then we somehow managed to defeat Hydra, Hammer, AIM, every bad guy organization in the world. Like that. When even the US president is saying, let's make a deal with them. So I can tell the next issue is going to be horribly rushed and awful. In other Marvel news, reviews rather, Generation Hope number 16 is just awful. I'm only reading this because apparently I'm a masochist and have to read all the X-Men stuff on the Cyclops side. And
Why?
yeah, it's because I'm a completionist. I need to read everything.
You're a weird one. Then again,
I'm a completionist.
I did read everything in Flashpoint, and Everyone Gets a Hammer.
Fear itself, yeah.
Fear Itself. I had seriously forgotten the name, but I remember the parody.
Yeah, that's all you need to remember. That sums it up adequately.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Japanese guy who guys are signed to him before in Generation Hope, where at the very beginning of the series takes umbrage again, tries to beat Hope, and then oh god, so predictable, and you just don't care because both of them are arseholes, and it's a comedy of arseholes. Everybody's a dick in that. You just don't care about anyone at all.
Sweet.
Invincible Iron Man number 513. The end of it, I'm sorry to bring spoilers here, but the end of it is every single Iron Man villain, all of them, get upgraded. So every single one of them is just like, ridiculously powerful. Just to set up, okay, Tony Stark's gonna be, embarrassed in future. Herp derp.
Herpy doopy doo.
Herpy derpy doo. In good Marvel news though, Thunderbolts number 170, where they escape from the Dungeon of Merlin. The actual Merlin from the court of, King Arthur.
Sweet.
Which is actually like a good couple of issues. But like the ending of that is just, yeah. Not gonna spoil anything, but it's gonna be ridiculous in the next issue. As everything is seeming to be with Marvel, it's like the next issue is going to be fucking retarded. No, really. You'll see what I mean. Ultimate X-Men number 7. Fuck's sake. It was entirely devoted to fucking Quicksilver running. That's it. And then the whole, oh, God's talking to all of us mutants. You should go talk to him too. And then he turns up to be in the form of fucking Magneto in Egypt. Why in Egypt? Why is he in Egypt when everything's going to shit there?
Yeah.
And yeah, it sums up nothing but what's coming up in the next issue. But it's going to shit. Where do they go from there? I don't know. I don't care. Uncanny X-Men number 7. What the fuck has been going on there? What have I missed? Seriously, what have I missed?
I like how you, like, everyone was like, this is insanely bad or weird. Everything.
No, really. What's going on, Marvel? Seriously, Uncanny X-Men number 7. I don't understand any of it. Like, there's a certain part of the world where somehow it's been, evolved 65 million years in the space of a few days. And for some, of course I went for the stereotypical name of Terra Nova. No relation to that ridiculously retarded TV show in America. But equally, in terms of retardation, it is just stupid as fuck. I am losing all patience with Marvel right now, and unless they pull something out of their hat next week, I am going to stop reading it entirely.
No way.
And then I'll be back to the default DC guy. And before I get on DC, I'm just going to mention Road Rage number 1 because I picked that up purely because it has Stephen King's name on it. It's actually written by him and his son.
Sweet.
He was also a award-winning horror writer. This follows a group of motorcycle gang. It's essentially, what I can think of it is Sons of Anarchy with an actual fucking conscience rather, and being hunted by an insane trucker. It's actually kind of good. I didn't think it would be. I only picked it because of Stephen King's name on it, but it's actually really good.
Huh.
So I'm going to recommend that. Anyway, as I calm myself down, Nick,
So, I have read an amazing amount of stuff this week. I have read Doctor Who, The Forgotten. And if you haven't realized it by now, I am a bit of a Doctor Who nutter.
a Whovian, as the term is.
Yeah, I think I'll go a step further, but yeah.
Good.
Basically, if you take no presence of the actual plot in the book, it's basically a collection of short adventures, one from each Doctor, except for the 10th one. I don't think you get a special one from that one. But basically what happens is that the Doctor wakes up in a strange place that he's never been before. It's a museum that is seemingly dedicated to him. And one room even contains like his old costumes and something he used a lot with that costume. So it's like the first costume and a cane, and the second costume and it has like a recorder, and so on and so on. The fourth costume and a bag of jelly babies.
Jelly Burgers.
Jelly babies.
We're like a Jelly Burger.
And basically it's him. He loses his memories, and it's him remembering stuff from all his incarnations.
Alright.
And I must say, this is a brilliant comic book, and everyone that is interested in comic books should read this. I guess if you're interested in Doctor Who, you might want to read this as well.
I might pick it up eventually then. Eventually.
It's gonna set you back about $19.99. So it's not terribly expensive for being a comic book. It actually has a quote from David Tennant on the front that just says, "Beautifully done." The artwork is very cartoony, if that is such a thing in comic books. But basically it's not the realistic that Jeff Johns comic books go for, even though he's not the artist. So yeah,
Right.
it's very good and you should definitely check it out.
Okay then.
Yes. What have you read in DC?
Okay, plenty in DC. Batman #6 has been fantastic as ever. It seems, when I look back on it now, there didn't seem to be that much actual content to it.
Okay.
I mean, it does finish off the whole, showdown underground with the Talon.
Mm-hmm.
But it does set up really well for what's coming up in the big crossover across the Batman family of comics soon. But yeah, it keeps on going with the whole hallucinogenic method of telling it. It's where everything's so distorted by it.
Okay.
And go to the point where when he starts fighting back, rather than looking so haggard and worn out and everything, he's actually got a proper borderline bat face going on.
Oh, that's sweet.
Because he's hallucinating down his head and it's just
Yeah.
bringing it all out. And when he sees a coat of owls around the outside of everything, they look like the most demented ass horrific owl things you've ever seen.
Sweet.
It is a fantastic series. I don't think it started off that well, but it's definitely picked up in one of the best Batman comics right now. Definitely better than say The Dark Knight.
All right. Well,
And
I'm sorry, but
I'd say,
everything is better than Dark Knight.
I'd say it's even better than Detective Comics at the moment. because, well, Detective Comics is just, the Penguin doing his thing.
Yeah, the Detective Comics really fell on its ass.
After that first story arc, yeah.
Yeah, that first story arc was brilliant with the face replacer.
Yeah, the doll maker guy.
The doll maker, that's the guy.
After that, it's kind of fallen apart, really.
Yeah.
Catwoman number 6, I love the art in this.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a deeper story than I thought it would be. Because I thought it'd just be, and then Catwoman goes and steals another thing, and then, sells that, and, has a little chase from Batman. Takes the clothes off with Batman, and then, the same thing over and over again. But it's actually getting really quite deep and emotional and everything.
Okay.
Definitely recommending that one. DC Universe Presents number 6 was ridiculous. None of it made any sense whatsoever to me.
Okay.
I'm not going to start bringing up the F-bomb again. Because it's not quite that deserving of it. But it's still... I just couldn't grasp what was going on there.
Okay.
I think there's a zombie at some point, but apart from that... Green Lantern Corps number 6. It was going on for ages saying, someone will die in the pages of Green Lantern Corps number 6. I'm going to have to stop doing the soaring voice. Ow! Now I know how it feels to, chain smoke.
Okay.
But yeah, Jon Stewart ends up killing a fellow Green Lantern to stop him from, unfortunately betraying Green Lantern Corps. And yeah, it all ends when they drop a giant, ridiculously fat yellow lantern on them all as a fear bomb.
What?
Yes, they actually use a fat yellow Sinestro Corps yellow lantern as a fear bomb. It just drops them from a spaceship onto the unsuspecting villains.
Oh god.
It's so ridiculous. Nightwing number 6. This was just, everybody knew for at least 2 issues what was going to happen, and this is a case of, actually putting it through to fruition. So, because I remember last issue I was just, at one point bordering on shouting at the pages, which is, the first sign of madness, really. Nearly shouting at the pages saying, what the fuck? How do you not see this, Dick Grayson? How do you not see it? And yeah, finally he does, but all too late. And how is he going to pick up the pieces? Yeah, it's I'm not really enthusiastic on the series, but I don't think it's too terrible. Wonder Woman number 6, though, the final one I read, which featured Icklebaby Hades.
What?
Hades is a child in it with candles on his head. No, really, with candles on his head. And the giant blue octopus walrus thing that is Poseidon. Yes. Negotiating with them as to who's getting heaven. Hades turns on everyone.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it? I still like the art in this one, though.
Okay.
So I may continue reading it purely for the art. And hopefully the story goes into somewhat sane territory after this.
Yeah, art really makes the comic book.
It does. I mean, for example, Animal Man is one of the best written comics in terms of story, anyway, from DC at the moment. But the art and the artwork does look good, but the way it's being coloured looks so terrible. Everything's flat, no real shading going on. It just looks like somebody just went into Photoshop or something and then went fill all.
Oh, that sucks.
It does look awful.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But that's all I've read this week, and glad to be open done with that.
Alright.
A heavy burden has been lifted from me for getting all the hatred of Marvel off my chest. That mini rant.
Alright. I think we can actually do the new releases before we leave for a break.
Oh my god.
For the first time ever.
I know, we always try and do it, and then it never happens.
Yes. So, how about you start with your first pick for this week?
First pick for the coming week of the 22nd of February is Aquaman number 6. In this one, continuing on Who Sank Atlantis? This issue focusing on Mira, aka Mrs. Aquaman. Following a trail of death and deceit to the one man who knows the ugly truth. But what does he want in return for his secrets? And how does it all tie into Mira's own dark past?
Weren't you gonna stop with that voice?
I don't know, I keep on sniffing into it.
Yeah, I noticed.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
My first
what's
pick.
your first pick?
My first pick for this week is Flash number 6. Basically, it's the start of a new story arc. The Mob Rule story arc has finished, and it's a new murder mystery that dates back 150 years. So we'll see what happens with this. Hopefully something good. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my throat. Sorry.
Death.
Death of the throatal area. And I guess my second pick is Green Lantern New Guardians number 6. Unfortunately, this has the very much the wrong synopsis on the website I'm looking at now, thingsfromanotherworld.com. But I can tell you that it does feature Kyle Rayner and his Rainbow Alliance of, different Lantern Corps going up against Invictus, a complete douchebag who thinks he's a god, and for some reason has a vessel the size of a big solar system, into which he's trying to bring everybody under his rule. Everybody in the universe on one solar system, apparently, which would be the logistics of that wouldn't work.
No,
especially
since most of the worlds in, for example, our solar system isn't inhabitable. Can't live on them.
He hasn't thought it through.
No.
But it should be a decent enough fight between, the Rainbow Alliance and douchebag Invictus. Yeah.
So, my second pick for this week is Teen Titans number 6. Last issue finished the battle with Superboy, in which, correct me if I'm wrong, but he defected from the company that created him, Cadmus or whatever they're called. No, they're not. They're called Nowhere. Sorry. And this number 6 issue guest stars Static from the Static Shock comic book that is being cancelled. So yeah.
Alright.
We might see something interesting there. Maybe that's his new home.
Could be.
I mean, he is a young superhuman.
At least he'll be able to find a place for him now, though.
Yeah, I think he could fit
Rather
in
than
there.
in limbo of his single series, which doesn't really work.
No. Third pick.
Third pick from me is Justice League Dark number 6. Ooh, I just noticed 666.
Oh.
Satan.
Hail Satan.
Satan. Yes, Enchantress has been subdued, but the team of misfits hardly knows how to celebrate, when each is still wrestling with their own demons. While Zatanna and Constantine try to decide on their next steps, Deadman deals with his loss. Shade Changing Man tries to bring Mind Warp back from the edge of sanity, but at what cost? I find it fantastic because Shade Changing Man is not exactly the most sane person anyway. No, really, his power is based upon his own insanity, so, it can only end well.
Yeah. My third and final pick for this week is not a number 6, but number 7, breaking the spell. It's Ultimate Comic Spider-Man number 7. And this is about the time the world finds out about the new Spider-Man. And therefore, the Scorpions shall come. Oh yeah. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Bonesaw is coming.
Bonesaw's ready.
God, such a bad character.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and I think we have time.
That's Randy Savage is a bad character, not Bonesaw.
Very true. I think we have time for our webcomic spotlight of this week.
Yes, we do, and I'm going to rattle off very quickly. This is VGCats.com. VGCats is a very long-running but very infrequently updating video game webcomic, which is sort of a it used to be a main fixture of most people's reading of video game webcomics.
Mm-hmm.
The art style is very unique, I'm going to say. And, well, what can I really say about it? It's a pair of anthropomorphic cats being cynical about video games. One of which may or may not have some sort of mental problem. But yeah, the most recent one they've just updated with is it's a Valentine's Day related one regarding Mass Effect 3 and how Commander Shepard is a giant slut.
Oh yeah, I like it. I mean, everything for anthropomorphic animals. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the second comic is about the long-running joke about Pokemon being not able to breed inside the balls. I like the art style though.
Yeah, it is quite good. It's just a shame that it's really infrequent in its updates.
Yeah.
It's basically a lucky dip when it comes to, clicking on the front page and then hoping that it's actually updated at all in the past week.
I guess you can subscribe via an RSS feed. So.
Yeah, RSS feed is probably the best way to go with that.
Yeah, I have that. I have like 20 or so RSS feeds of just different comics.
Nice.
So yeah, that's Video Games Cats or VG Cats at vgcats.com/comics. Check that out and enjoy. And we'll take a break. This is Muse with Microcuts.
This podcast is brought to you courtesy of Skype.
Welcome back to Crossover, live on Noticeable Radio at noticeableradio.com. We were talking about things that you should buy and shouldn't buy and get for free before the break. And now it's time for us to move into our listener interaction segment with the riddles.
As one baker to another, how do you make a dishonest shortcake?
So, what do we have on the agenda tonight for the thingy, Bobbin?
The thingy.
The thingy. I like the
very, very specific of you.
I like the thingy.
I commend you on yours being specific with that. Well, with the riddles, we have the results of the weekly poll. Number 18. The new trailer for Amazing Spider-Man was recently released. Mm-hmm. Are you excited for the movie? The results are now in. In fact, we'll lock this thread now to stop any last minute ones. Yep. Bear in mind that most will be coming from me. Just, dicking around with that. 71% of you say HE double hockey sticks, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep.
And 29 saying frack no.
So, it seems that we are, as a community, excited for The Amazing Spider-Man?
I'm wondering if the people who are negative about it are, well, I think one of them would end up being me by the end of it, but still, whether the people who are not excited about it are not excited because they don't like Spider-Man, or they're not excited because they don't like this particular iteration of Spider-Man.
I would say a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Bit of both. Bit of both.
Oh,
That's this painfully high pitch. And that last song.
like that last song.
Oh god,
So-
Muse.
So, if you want to send us any form of email, you should send us an email to copodcast@gmail.com. That's copodcast@gmail.com. And you can also vote in our new poll, the weekly poll number 19, by going to the nordicelradio.com forums, finding crossover and clicking on the weekly poll. And we're not going to tell you exactly right now what the topic is for next week. However, it's going to be the same as our segment that comes next in I Could Be Batman.
I couldn't become Green Lantern unless I was chosen by the Guardians of Oa. But given enough startup capital and adequate research facility, I could be Batman.
You could be Batman.
Sure, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And ever since that picture was made, apparently I'm Robin.
Yep, you are Robin.
At least Burt Ward got all the checks.
So he says.
Well, to be fair, who would go with Adam West?
Probably everyone. Have you seen the costume that Burt Ward wore?
Have you seen the, buttery face of Adam West?
Oh, that's mean. Oh.
Mean but true.
The thunder of my vengeance will echo through these corridors like the gust of 1,000 winds!
Eek.
So, our topic for tonight in this week's I Could Be Batman is there has recently been news revealed that there is going to be a Doctor Who and Star Trek The Next Generation crossover comic book. And the question stands, are multi-universe crossovers a good thing or not? Do we really need all these film, TV, book crossovers like the Infestation that IDW is going with, where they have the Cthulhu mythos invading Transformers?
Everything, really.
Let's just go with everything. Transformers, Star Trek, G.I. Joe. What else do they have?
It's changed since the last one. I'll go into it during my
Alright.
my discussion there.
And we have decided that Jack is going to argue against these established universes, and I'm going to argue for them. And I believe that it is customary that the opposition will start.
Oh, it's customary now, is it?
Yeah.
I was going to flip a coin on that, but oh well. Yes, I am very much opposed in this case. By playing devil's advocate, actually. Very much opposed to these crossovers between established intellectual properties.
Mm-hmm.
This
Why?
all pretty much began, in essence, with the Star Trek X-Men one, which in itself was batshit insanity. It was nothing made any sense. It only lasted one issue. It was just a one-shot because they realised we couldn't possibly get away with any more. And subsequent attempts at trying to revive that automatically failed. I mean, they tried a Next Generation Star Trek with X-Men, one-shot, that didn't work. There's a novel made called Planet X, which is fucking retarded in itself, but still, Like, it is some of the worst fiction ever produced. Ladies and gentlemen. It is the equivalent of if you distilled every Twilight-esque book, distilled it into an essence of shit writing, that would be it. Oh, the crap. Right there.
Okay. But we've already established in this show that even though the story is crap, if you have good art, it doesn't matter.
Yes, however, Star Trek X-Men features the pinnacle of 90s art. Everybody has shoulder pads, everybody has glowing eyes, everybody has guns, everybody has metal arms and so on. But that's really aren't. That'll be another discussion later on.
Guns are awesome. No, but we have all asked the question, who would win in a fight? Superman or an equally awesome character from another franchise? For example, Invincible or Irredeemable or whatever his name is. From...
his name's Plutonian in that.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight between Green Arrow and Hawkeye? Etc, etc. And really, the only way you can find this out is if you have these crossover books. Therefore, they are needed.
They really aren't, because every single time that you get them sort of, okay, who would win a fight between such and such person, regardless of what side you take in showing that, even if they end up doing they start fighting and then they make up and they're friends, that pisses people off. So whatever you're going to do is going to piss someone off, one of the fans of one of the different intellectual properties. For example, when they did with DC and Marvel, everybody fighting, and then, they end up realizing, oh, actually, no, it's Darkseid, and I think it was Galactus or some bollocks, responsible for everything. And then they turned the fight on them, and then it was all just like, everybody's happy and happy friends now. And Superman was wielding Thor's hammer.
That's amazing.
That is still just stupid as hell.
Everyone gets a hammer.
That's why it's fucking stupid. Everyone gets a hammer.
No, but you know what never would have happened if we couldn't have these multi-universe crossovers? You're supposed to say no. Oh. Super Smash Bros. And that is one of the best games of all time.
That is. However, all the intellectual property there is owned by Nintendo.
That is insignificant to the points.
And we're talking about crossovers in comics mostly here.
Shh! Stop ruining my good arguments.
I will bring a perfect example of how a crossover event can go horribly wrong. This is actually the first infestation event that happened.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the Cthulhu with 30 Days of Night, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joe, D&D, Dungeons and fucking Dragons, and some little known thing called fucking Danger Girl. The first one was zombies in Star Trek, original Star Trek, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe again, and what's the last one?
Transformers?
Okay, forgot the last one. No, Transformers, yes. I thought I mentioned that. But yeah, they set up a sort of overarching story arc to it, wherein, how the zombies got into them places and how it all ties together. And they've decided to frame it with this little known IDW comic series called CVO. CVO stands for Covert Vampiric Operations. That was the most retarded thing I've ever read. It was just a bunch of vampires being like, oh, we're so badass, a black ops unit, yeah. And then, oh no, zombies, and then let's just send them out into the fucking multiverse and hope for the best. And the dialogue in that issue was the worst I've ever read. The artwork wasn't that great. I mean, the zombies looked like something that had been eaten like multiple times by a rabid dog, and then gone through both ends.
That is not a problem with the crossover event, though. That's the problem with the artist. Could happen to anything.
No, I'm summing up how is like all the ways it was bad. Before you go along with the it's not so much. I mean, but there with Star Trek X-Men was it's not so much just the story; it's the artwork as well in the comic. So I'm summing up everything how it's bad. I'm calling you out, bro. I'm calling you out.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and the brevity of it as well, because you can never appeal to fans in terms comes to how long these things are. Often they're just one shots, which fair enough you may think, but it always leaves the audience wanting more. And when you get people wanting more constantly, you end up getting the before Watchmen sort of thing, where no one's happy. Especially not the creators. And if it goes on too long, then people start getting pissed off they have to pay so much. And just drop it. Like every single Army of Darkness crossover that is always going on. At any one point, there's always like 3 Army of Darkness crossovers with Freddy versus Jason or Alien versus Predator.
Alien vs. Predator is one of the best movies of all time.
I wish I could hate you so much you get cancer right now. I'm wishing cancer upon you right now for saying that.
That is horrible.
That's a horrible thing to say, though. Alien vs. Predator, fantastic movie.
Fantastic movie. You can sit down. You don't have to think. It's just mindless violence. You don't have to think about anything. Just cool effects. Then you're done, and you feel a little bit better inside because you've seen Alien shred apart predators.
And then you realise what you've done, which is watch Alien vs. Predator, and you die a little inside.
I watched it in the cinema twice.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because it was a good movie.
Okay, right. So, based upon the fact that you're apparently a masochist, that might explain why you enjoy these crossover events so much. You enjoy punishing yourself from the sound of it.
Something like that, right? No. But I think that it adds a good flavor to the series, because there are only so many characters that a series can interact with, especially Star Trek The Next Generation or Doctor Who. Because they can't interact with anything from the same publisher, because they're in different universes. Therefore you have to have these that are non-canon and are just right out funny in the end, because they're so bad that they're funny.
Or in some cases so bad they're painful, like Punisher Eminem.
I think that is the greatest thing ever made. Punisher Eminem crossover.
Admittedly, probably not as bad as Archie with the Punisher.
It's just... No, I want to see a Green Arrow Robin Hood crossover.
Oh god.
It's brilliant.
It'll turn out exactly how it would do in that page of the gutters.
Yeah. Where Robin Hood
has guns.
So yeah, I don't know, did we come to any form of conclusion?
Yeah, that you're just twisted in some fashion for liking the Alien vs. Predator movie.
And you have no taste.
No, I have very specific taste.
Writers, weird people.
No, I'm. If anything, we've come to the conclusion that I am a really picky and critical git.
You are taking after Stan He's So Crazy Lee.
In what way?
You don't like crossover events.
If anything, Stanley loved them. That's why he wrote so many people.
No, you're getting crazy, that's what I'm talking about. You're crazy. crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the ending argument of someone who has lost.
You
Question the mental integrity of the person
What?
you're arguing with.
you said that I was downright insane. So before I said that you were
Hey,
crazy.
I said twisted.
Twisted
not
is the same thing.
Some form of deviancy going on there.
Yeah, and you're crazy. I think we both lost this one.
Yeah.
How about we let the listeners decide?
Yeah, it's probably the best.
Yeah, go to noticealradio.com and find the forums for crossover. There's a weekly poll whether or not these form of events should exist. You can only choose yes or no, and you should do it now. Do it now, yeah. Oh yeah.
And I would recommend smack talking.
Yeah, smack talking is awesome. Like, the more people talking, the better. I don't care what kind of talking it is. As long as it's not spam. Or gammon.
Which I may start spamming that with your goal sign ads. And watch how I get kicked from Noticeable Radio.
Yeah, and I'll have to do this show on my lonesome.
Yeah, and no one would be there for Nightmare Mode.
No, that would suck.
Yeah. Then he'll give everyone the weird news.
Yeah.
Sundays at 10 p.m. GMT.
You whore.
Such a dirty hell. Saturdays, actually, on Noticeable Radio at 10.
Didn't you say Saturday?
Oh, I said Sunday.
You might have. I don't know.
Not even listening anymore. Not even to myself. I'm not even listening to myself.
I don't think we stopped listening years ago.
We're just on autopilot when it comes to talking.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, we are going to round this podcast off. Thank you for listening to Crossover on Nordical Radio at nordicalradio.com. And do you have any closing words?
Once again, I'm going to plug my solo show on Saturday. If you're into at all terrifying news of the weird and funny sort, and sometimes terrifying music, then please check out Nightmare Mode. And I will say that this week's episode is going to be entirely power metal. Rock!
Power metal, yeah!
Yeah.
So, look forward to that on Saturday, Nightmare Mode. It's gonna be a good time. And, yeah. And we'll see you there, I think. Goodbye.
Yes. Stay tuned for DJ Raven.
Yes, on the Random Encounter is his show.
Yeah.
And from me and you, good night.